And it's another basketball game. But, you know, I've got to get through them, I've got to play them. They're of very little interest to me. I'm sorry, I'm starting off on quite a negative slant when it comes to Bulls versus Lakers and the NBA playoffs, but there we go. I'll be the Lakers. I'll be the Bulls. I meant to pick... Oh, well, you know what? We're going Bulls v Bulls. Double Jordan. Space Jam squared. Whichever way you want to look at it. Not quite what I intended, because it's Bulls v Bulls rather than Bulls v Lakers. But yeah, we're playing a basketball game. I'll say one thing, it looks quite good. I think when you look at the other basketball games we've played so far on the Mega Drive... Oh no, Scottie Pippen was travelling. I think it looks a lot better than some of the others we've played, like Arch Rivals and Barkley Shut Up and Jam. And is that it? I feel like I've played 3 basketball games before this, but I might be wrong. But there we go. It's alright so far. There's very little I can talk about with basketball. So, you know, you'd be well served turning the video off, if I'm absolutely honest with you. You know, that's the epitome of honesty, which, you know, as I've always said, I intend to be honest in my reviews. Yeah, basketball, it's basketball, isn't it? I'm going from one side of the court to the other, and I'll have 1 in 2 goes at trying to get it in the net. And if I fail, or if I'm travelling, then I try again. What else I can say? There were 2 of these games released, so I am doing a bit of a cheat here. I'm not going to play both of them, because as far as I can tell, they're essentially the same game, basically. So, yeah, I'm not playing the other one, which is Bulls versus Blazers and the NBA playoffs. You know, you can call me out on that if you wish. Scottie Pippen, travelling again. I've just realised I'm saying Scottie Pippen like I know anything about the Bulls of the 90s. I don't really. Beyond The Last Dance, which I did watch, and that's where a lot... My knowledge of basketball in the 90s comes from 2 things. It comes from The Last Dance, which is a superb show, which I recommend everyone watches. And from Space Jam, of course. So there we go. Gameplay-wise, it feels exactly like every other basketball game. I'd be really interested to hear from big basketball sort of aficionados when it comes to the games. Do you really notice a huge difference? I mean, do you? Would you play this and then Arch Rivals and, you know, notice the difference in gameplay? I'm not. That's not a dig at it. It is what it is, isn't it? You know, at the end of the day. But it's quite fun. Again, it's like everything with sports games. I far prefer it in multiplayer. Even going down to modern era. I love playing FIFA, but it has to be online. I can't get on with, you know, playing career mode and all that stuff. It's not for me. I'm all about the competitive spirit when it comes to sports games, and I think the same would apply here. You know, I used to love playing sort of NBA Jam, FIFA, 95, 96, 97, PGA Tour Golf, NHL Hockey. You know, I did love the sports games on the Sega Mega Drive, but that was mainly to play in 2-player, and I used to play that with my, at the time, next-door neighbour. Funny story about him. He accused me of stealing his Tazos. Anyone remember them? I never did. So we fell out, and then he moved away. So, if by any miracle you're watching this video, Sam Foster, then you were wrong, mate. That's all I can say. That's a tangent that I didn't expect to get into when describing Bulls versus Lakers in the NBA playoffs on the Sega Mega Drive, but I'm a conversational reviewer, as we know. What can we say? Oh, it's got... yeah, I just always get tempted to try from an incredibly long distance on these games, and it never quite comes off for me. I'd be very interested to know, does that ever happen much in real life in basketball? Where you know, they're just going from crazy angles? I don't know. I always feel I have to try. Okay, so I'm doing a penalty. Right, I'll say one thing about this. The gameplay on this is very good, because it's actually obvious how you do it, compared to some of the games from the era that I've played. So that was good. I give it props for that. The penalty shot, is that what it's called? Sorry if not. Is very easy to understand. Go on. Oh. So like every sports game really of the time, it was of course developed by EA Sports, Electronic Arts, and it came out in 1991. Wow. And get this, it came out in the UK a year before America. Don't know why that is. Double. Yeah, so that works really well, I have to say, the penalties. And from what I've gathered, it's quite well regarded in terms of historically. It was at the time. Megatech magazine, I'm reliably informed from a bit of Googling, gave it a staggeringly high 80%. So there we go. However, it does note as well, they didn't feel it played as fast as David Robinson's Supreme Court. So when we eventually get to D, there's a real treat in store for you. Yeah, it's alright. I'm quite enjoying it. Like I say, I don't have an awful lot to say when it comes to these games, because they all feel very similar. I'm sure basketball fans would say the same about football or soccer, as our American friends call it. And that's just it, isn't it? If you're into the sport, you notice the subtle differences, you enjoy playing it. But if you're not, it all just kind of feels much of a muchness and a little bit boring. NBA Jam is the exception to the rule, because it went crazy and over the top, and it had the out of proportion characters and the crazy trick shots and jumps and stuff. And that's what I think you need from a sports game when it's a sport that you're personally not into. That's my opinion anyway. So, I mean, yeah, and that even goes for now. I've tried like the NBA 2K series and stuff like that. And it's difficult to get into, and I don't actually mind basketball as a sport to watch. Always wanted to go to a game, actually. But, yeah, you know, I have enjoyed it when I've watched it, so I'm not against it or anything like that. But yeah, as a game, perfectly serviceable game of basketball. Nothing that I will remember, should we say. But, you know, it's the best, I would probably say, of the basketball games that we've played so far on the Mega Drive. And, you know, I think that is in itself quite an accolade, because we've played at least 3, possibly 4, but my memory is fading on that. So, yeah, that's Bulls versus Lakers and the NBA playoffs on the Sega Mega Drive.